Okay, so in this video, I think I'd like to give you some sort of like um, the benefit of the doubt, where why you should not really cling to something only. So I guess we've known that we've been in a situation where everything is very dynamic, where we never know how the future holds, we never know how the circumstances may rapidly change and stuff like that. We never know about how the future, but we can predict whatever's gonna happen by whatever's we're doing at the current time. So I want to extend into that topic, but yeah, make sure that you always leave your one foot away because you never know how the future holds. I'm trying to block the light. Yeah. Always find the backup plan. Always find a way to exit, because as much as people are trying to convey or convince us or persuade us that it's okay to stay in a rough situation, in a difficult situations, perhaps the thing that I really want to say about that is we really need to see how and what is the definition of the difficult times. If it's not benefiting us, why would we hold ourselves in that regard? I feel like ever since the productivity pandemic is here and there, um, people are getting immune to be really productive and being really busy, and it culminates and then it manifests to that staying into like hardships. Even though I know that hardships can really it can really lift you and drag you and bring you into another side of the story that you've never thought you are able to pass it. But also there's also another way to do it, and specifically when we are talking about why we shouldn't really cling to one thing is to remind ourselves that everything is really is really expansive, in a sense that um, probably you have like your childhood dream where you want to become someone, or you want to become a really certain profession that you've always been dreaming about since you were a kid. But and then as you mature, you know that it doesn't reflect to you a lot because there's a lot of circumstances, realities, and stuff like that. That's why sometimes, at least for me, what I really want to achieve in life is something way broader, way abstract, and then the way I put my effort into it, that's the thing that becomes really tangible, that becomes really visible, becomes something really concrete. And you should do that too. And a lot of times we've been in a situation where it's very tumultuous. We have to have backup plans. For example, like in a COVID-19, we've seen so many people are trying to recover from layoffs and stuff like that. Even I personally got layoffs, but not in 2020, because I was still studying at that time. But I got laid off like a year ago. So that's the thing that you really need to 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 talk to yourself, that you cannot stay in one state, you cannot stay in one thing always, you cannot cling to that one aspect in your life, because what happens if something's gonna strip it away? Are you going to define yourself with that regard, with that subject, or with that matter? Or you display a more substantial label or substantial objectives that it is actually you and you are the brand. That's going to sell out even more than the titles, the professions, the attributes that other people give to you in the past. And also, if you're clinging to one thing, um, if you want to extend that, a lot of people got this type of, like, I don't know, post power syndrome, where you feel that you are being an authoritarian after you've got some big, reputable, and powerful title beforehand, and then once you retire, you feel like you're powerless. You feel like you had no control over your life because you're only trying to be in a flow state and you're not accustomed to it. You're not getting used to it because you've always been the person who takes control of everything, which is pretty good because everybody has to have that within themselves. But the thing is, sometimes loosening your grip is necessary because you never know. If you don't lose a little bit, you never know, like, the possibilities or probabilities, and then even occasions out there that may really lift you, elevate you, and catapult you to another level just because you loosen it a bit. And I've got so many life experience that I lived because of that. So I hope that you're also able to learn through it. For example, something really simple. Um, when I went back to my college, because I used to have like the online classes and stuff like that, and then the time for us to have the offline classes had gone. At the time, I got one of the rented room. Basically, I had contacted my landlord at that time, and it was probably like 2 weeks before I started my fifth semester, if I'm not mistaken. And then I tried to contact this landlord, and then he didn't really give his his bank account for me to transfer the money because I don't know. I think I really need to pay first before I visit, or even before I got in front of the room that I rented. But yeah, it was really hard to reach out to him. He didn't really reply my message, but then eventually he told me that the rent has been placed on behalf of his nephew or niece, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I didn't have any other options rather than just, you know, finding and looking for another room that I wanted to rent. And eventually I got like the best and better room throughout my college year, where my room is on the second floor, probably like the first floor by American English or by the English. Um, it was overlooking the river in front of my rented room. There's a lot of air circulations compared to the previous room that I wanted to rent. And then whenever I opened my door, there's a lot of like greeneries. There's a lot of like green sceneries that I can really see in front of my room just by opening my door. And it was something that I always remember, and I always remind myself that, hey, maybe something isn't destined for you because there's something way better than that. And that's why you shouldn't really cling and adhere yourself to something really, really, you're almost like saying it's the only option in the world. So just don't do that. We never know, the other options may give you into another level of happiness or content that you've never thought you're going to receive. And probably it's a better option than before. So yeah.